Well,
Sorry, she still uses her size all the time.
Yeah. Let's take a look at her her just general sort of fight style, and Stephanie can explain it. And after that, we can kind of discuss that with Derek as well.
Sure.
So you can hear the claws. She has a couple moves that use it. This is one of her fast move strings, and it has a couple options. The second one is a crushing blow.
I was about to say.
And the combo with more than 8 hits, which is pretty easy to do for ball roll. Awesome low safe launcher, so she has to commit, or just do a low damage option like a sweep. But I think that totally fits your play style. Is you have to be the type of player that's willing to just do a low into the ball roll and just deal low and not worry if they're going to block it. This low here 4-2 has a crushing blow if it's a counter hit, and then she gets a combo, which again goes into kind of a higher risk thing, but good damage if it hit. This is her 4-4, which I wanted to show because I think it's one of her better like mid attacks because it's really easy to hit confirm. And then the last thing I wanted to show was her throws, because she has a similar crushing blow to Rainbow.
This one, oh my god.
In 10 seconds without jumping or getting hit, she will bite them in the neck, and it's very, very gross and nasty. But again, you're Mileena, so you haven't jumped in 10 seconds. That's a tall order, so I think you deserve to eat their throat.
Derek will never get that crushing blow. You'll never get it.
Never.
No, probably
It'll never happen. Next up, let's take a look at her default special moves.
So this is what I mean by she's kind of the classic Mileena. Side tosses back, really fast. She throws 2 at once and it takes up a ton of space. I think it's a really great projectile. Ball roll is exactly what you expect it to be. Super quick, it leads to combos, so she amplifies it. Great whiff punisher. Punishes stuff that's like push back on block, all that kind of stuff. And then the teleport kit. So this has a cool new thing where she can amplify and she goes into a throw, and you can choose which direction to throw her, which is pretty cool. You can throw them in the corner, then go for your pressure, and you don't have to get in
That's
again.
Pretty cool.
Or throw them out of the corner if you don't want to deal with that. You have a life lead, whatever. So it's pretty much what you expect. She can zone, and she can counter zone really well, because it's pretty risky to throw a projectile when she has both teleport and roll.
And roll.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't agree more than that statement. It's classic Mileena.
Yep.
So you're saying, I just want to just reiterate something. When you do the teleport, if you amplify it, it turns into a throw.
Yes.
And you can choose the direction in which you throw.
Exactly.
Let's take a look real quick then at variation 1 of Mileena.
So this one I think is a mobility-based variation. The first thing is she can do her Sai in the air.
Look at that beautiful skin. Oh my
Great.
god.
She can amplify it to recover faster and get combos. The second thing is she can do
She
the
almost looks like
teleport in the air.
Mileena, not Mileena,
This is awesome for
Kitana.
faking out jump ins. And then lastly, she has her low side back from MKF, which was one of my favorite projectiles.
That's probably the skin I'm gonna
And
be
it has a
rocking.
unique
I'm
custom
not gonna
blow
lie.
if it goes under high and you amplify it. So this really makes her mobility better, and then it makes her counter zoning even better, because she can
So,
jump
like
over a projectile and teleport. She can use the low side and go under highs. It also, you could actually use it for mix-ups too. Like you can mix up her overhead with it, her low side, mid-range, if you wanted to take a risk. So yeah, I think that's kind of, you are happy with the way she plays, you just want better options for getting in or stopping them from keeping you out. And then, that's kind of the way you go. You get to play her up close game because you don't have to worry about their zoning, and you can mix up your jump ins and stuff like that.
Let's take a look at variation 2.
So variation 2, I think, is the opposite. I think it's a rushdown variation. The first thing is she loses a roll, but she gains this brand new move, the Condom Dash, which I think is pretty awesome. Super quick low, so you can use that in mix-ups. She can go into projectiles. It has an amplify, and it actually has a double amplify. And you can also cancel it. Like you can start to run, hold it down, and then just cancel it and not do the attack and go for a mix-up. And this has a crushing blow. Then she also has a bunch of extra throws at the end of her strings. I think she gets 3 of them. You can see her low gets a new one, and I think this one's definitely the coolest. She gets this grab at the end, and it can actually restand. And then she can get a pretty decent mix-up. And then lastly, she gains a command grab. This move is freaking awesome looking. How is that not the coolest thing ever? This has a crushing blow. This has a crushing blow for punishing a wake-up roll. Knock them down. They don't want to deal with their mix-ups. Nope, they are definitely going to deal with their mix-ups. And now they're blind.
I love every time we show a new character, there's always a variation that has, not always, 50% of the time, that has like grabs, and I'm like, well, I mean, maybe I could try Mileena. Like, maybe I could do that, because that variation looks right up my alley with all, like we talked about last time, the two-player animations and whatnot. This looks incredible. Awesome. Let's move on to number 3.
So number 3, I was trying to think of a theme, and...
Not again, no.
cornucopia of more stuff. First thing is she gets this special roll, which does extra damage and actually hops in the air, so she can go over stuff. Then she gets
By the way, this
invisibility,
hairstyle is
which
underrated.
a ton of fun.
A lot of
I mean,
people
you can
dissed
imagine
it, but I
Milena's
actually think it's
already
pretty
all
cool.
over the
I
place.
wouldn't main it, but it's still a
Totally
cool skin.
can't even see her. Like, I don't know a scenario more obnoxious than that. And then lastly, she gets a brand new move, which is pretty interesting. She slides her sai across the ground, and she can hold it and decide when she's going to lift it up, and then it'll come back down. So the opponent has to guess, are you going to delay it? Are you going to let it go really early? And then it has a crushing blow if it interrupts an opponent. So if they think you're going to delay it, and they try to just attack you out of it, and you didn't delay it, you can go ahead and amplify it. It's going to hit them right in the noggin.
But we do want to show something. This was Derek. Derek was really into doing this. So we brought together today, we're going to show the first friendship we've shown. So we're going to show Mileena's friendship.
Don't let me down, game. Teddy. That's a cool friendship. I like it. That's pretty dope. And then the teddy bear falls, I'm done. That's pretty cool. That fits Mileena just well. That's perfect.
I love it. She cares so much about those bears.
She loves the bears, and like always, the music for friendships is just, it kills me every single time. Even when I get beat online putting friendships, I'm like, let's hear the song again. Excellent. So now I want to preface this a little bit. We will have a balance patch. There's a balance patch coming with Ultimate Mortal Kombat 11. But we're not going to go too deep into the woods today. There's some stuff that when we do release the patch notes, you'll be able to see it. That won't be right away. We won't be releasing those right away. So please don't tweet me every 15 minutes about where the patch notes. They'll probably be released near to when the game is released. It won't work.
The
But
day's still fine.
Hardcore players are going to be like, oh, fair enough. We'll be patient.
I think I told Honeybee. Was it Honeybee once or someone that like every time they asked me, I was going to move it back 2 hours. So we were still working on finishing all that stuff up. So we're going to tell you a little bit about today. It probably won't be as much as we're not going to tell you as much as you want to hear today. We're going to give you some really cool stuff.
I have to say it.
Go ahead.
And I'm allowed to say this because I understand. I was one of them once, and I haven't forgotten. Sure. What would you even do with that information if you had it now?
That is true.
I get the
excitement. I get the excitement. So, but what we I guess we're going to talk about is really some system changes to start, which is kind of more of the stuff we're going to talk about. But I think we want to start with sort of the big thing we kind of teased last week.
I am 100 out of 10 excited. So the big change to the variation system is we are adding custom variations. In Combat League and in tournaments, you will be able to make your own variation and use them in ranked tournament play. There will be a UI thing now, which, shout out our UI team, they have to be like one of the big unsung heroes of a video game studio. They are constantly working on new stuff.
Variations in Combat
League? Weird
League?
technical things to get into the game. Everyone is an unsung hero behind the scenes, but shout outs to them.
Well, it's one of those things where if you don't notice it, it's probably done really well.
Yeah, when you're playing
drives
a game,
your
you
game.
really think about it, right? So, and they're always asked to add these new situations and stuff. Anyway, when you pick your character, a little thing will come up with your variation, and now you can just go into custom, and it's kind of like the abilities screen. So you can go through it. The
And
same rules apply. That you know, if a move conflicts, you can't do it. And the slots. And then the one big thing is there's going to be a few moves that are actually banned from competitive play. There are some moves that, I'll use the example, Terminator's Terminate move, where we felt that they were probably a little too wild, even for Wild Wild West. They're kind of made for towers, more casual play, and
Sure.
we did not feel they were appropriate for competitive play at this time. There are not many. The vast majority of moves will be tournament legal.
This is exciting to me.
There'll be a little call out if you try to equip it. It'll say.
I created a combo back in the day with variations, which we talked about it earlier. We cannot remember the name of it with Kano, where you use Snakebite and Command Grab. I had a name for this combo in one of the early combat casts. I used to say it all the time, and I can't remember it. So please, tweet me. Remind me of what that was called. I'll be doing that. Very excited.
So here's a question for you, Stephanie. Now, say variation 2 of Mileena. Can I get rid of her run and replace that with the ball?
Yes, which I actually think is probably going to be a pretty popular thing. That's what I've been doing, is using the base variations as kind of a blueprint and then changing out one or two things. Like
Right.
Jade's, her variation one, the zoning one, I actually really like, but I like to remove upward razor ring and put in amplifying the double kick to keep you in the corner. Like a lot of, I think that's actually going to be very common. And the default variations will still be there if you just want to quickly use it. Or I think it'd be great if you're new to a character and you're like, there's like 10 moves. What is going on? There's still like a good way to be like, oh, well, you can kind of get ideas for how you'd like to do it.
So Combat League, I can make my own variations and go through it right now, right once the patch hits.
Right.
Awesome.
I am satisfied.
So that's definitely one of the big, when it comes to balance, like that's a big thing. Like
it's, in my opinion, this is the biggest potential meta shift we've introduced in Mortal Kombat 11. I have absolutely no idea what's going to go on. I have
probably in any of our games, I would say. Probably the biggest meta shift in any of our games.
That's probably actually not an outrageous. You could pitch me on that for sure. I have.
We'll talk afterwards. I got a PowerPoint for you. We'll talk about it. So let's now discuss. We were talking earlier about some system stuff.
Yes. So we've taken a look at pretty much most of the gameplay systems and made some tweaks that I think are pretty exciting. The first one I'd like to talk about is we've adjusted the hit regions, like the hurt box, on crouching characters. And this should help with a lot of inconsistencies and moves going over someone when they're crouching, like mids not hitting, stuff like that. And that's pretty much across the cast. The other thing across the cast is we've taken a look at the down pokes, down threes, and down ones. Most characters have had them adjusted. Some have more recovery, some have less. Like Aaron Black's, for example, now have more recovery on blocks, so you can kind of chuck him with one of your fast mids if you think he's going to mash them. And that's something where when the patch notes come out, you guys can absolutely go. It's going to be like Christmas. Like, I would expect a lot of you to just be sitting there F5ing, waiting for it, and then as soon as it's there, someone needs to make a spreadsheet with all the changes and just go crazy. So that's pretty exciting.
And we talked about how like a lot of those too, like they differentiate between characters. So we're not going to go through, character by character, obviously.
Another thing is hop attacks are now immune to down ones until they are done and are recovering. So that's another way that you can beat bow pokes if someone's spamming them. You're kind of taking a risk. It's not the fastest thing to do in the world, but it'll just flat out beat it. So if you want to make the read, that's a good way you can do it. Another thing that's kind of neat and is going to improve the pacing of the game, make it a little bit faster, is get up animations are now adjusted to be a couple of frames faster. 4, I believe. So when you get knocked down, you'll basically get up faster. You have similar options, but it'll just be quicker. You are on the ground for less amount of time. And that also goes with what we talked about last time, where get up animation, the delayed wake up is now just one timing. There's not short and long. It's just kind of a middle ground, and there's a little animation for it too. And I think one last thing I'd like to talk about is a change to fatal blows. Two things, actually. They, across the board, a lot of them, I think, have less pushback on block, especially like in the corner situations and stuff like that, to make them a little bit easier to punish on block. And then the second thing, which is very interesting, it's a new mechanic that some moves, we have expanded the window for a flawless block. You'll actually have 6 frames to flawless block a move, and that applies to every fatal blow. So the idea would be, if you know it's coming and you're ready for it, it will be significantly easier to flawless block, and then you get punished. And this will also apply to other moves, which I guess we can just go straight into that, unless you guys have some thoughts on these changes.
No, I don't. I think I'm really excited. There's a lot of these things we've heard about, from the community. We do listen to those things, and sort of take our own direction on how we want to change the game in those sort of ways. And these are the systems that we kind of want to look at right now. And I think that a lot of people will be happy with these things.
Right, you're right. We do like to look at feedback. Our design team is watching streams and looking at tournament results and looking at our internal data. We actually have a vast amount of that. Like our lead designer can actually see the matchup numbers, just real results and all that. So if you're like, oh my God, like Jax, he 7-3s this character, we can actually see, no, he doesn't.
No,
we have that data.
No,
yeah, you're exaggerating.
That's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite things to do is to go to Paula's office and just see like the matchups of Jade, Jade, okay. It's great. Yes.
But what I was going to say is there's also a balancing act with, first you look at what is everyone talking about, who's good, who's bad, then you have to kind of parse out, well, what are the players not adjusting to yet, and then maybe what's harder to deal with than we expected. But then the really tricky part, and that's where the design team really has to think about it, is what do you do to change it? Because it's easy to say, hey, this move's too strong. And it's like, well, we also don't want it to be bad. So it's a whole thing. My whole point is, yes, we do listen. Keep complaining. Not that you would stop anyway, but it does, your voice does get through, even though you don't necessarily get a reply on Twitter. Just don't complain to me. Complain to Paula.
Excellent. Awesome. So we have 2 short videos we want to show to kind of explain a couple. There's only like 2 layers. Again, all the characters have some stuff in their list. We're not going to go through all of that today, but we will show a couple things right now. Who do we want to start with? What do I have here? Let's start with Jackie.
So Jackie actually has this enhanced flawless block thing with her leap. If you see that she's leaping, you can flawless block it much easier now. Let me put it this way. You kind of got to be ready for it, but it's easy enough. I can do it. And as we've established, I'm an old, and I haven't been good at games in like 5 years now, and I can do it. So that's a really good barometer. And when you flawless block, you can't cancel, so that means she can't get her pressure. Now, of course, if you're sitting there waiting to flawless block, she's going to get her pressure going in other ways. She can dash up or whatever. So it's not like you literally she can't move anymore. But if you're ready for it and you're really sure she's going to leap, it's a really great option to deal with it. And the second thing we showed there is her dash punch is now punishable on block. It's -12, so you can get a good jab punish and beat her up.
We know that video went really quickly, so watch the VOD. You can watch it again. Some of these videos are very short, but this is how we can't show it live like we used to. So this is how we have to do it.
Well, Honeybee, Ketchup and Mustard, etc. will be doing a 45-minute video about that 20-second clip.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, Tom Brady already has it out.
And I'm here for it. Let's take a look at Raiden. Yeah.
So Raiden got some cool changes. This move is now actually advantage on block, and it ends in an overhead, and it's really quick. So it's really awesome for mixing up with his back one pressure. And then the Super Volt move is now safe if you charge it for just slightly. And the main reason I wanted to show this is that it's an example of some of the tournament moves that you might want to use in your custom variations are can be quite a bit different to get ready for the custom variation thing. Like another example would be Aaron Black's low gun is now significantly slower because previously it was like the fastest projectile ever. Another example is Katana's her dancing fan, where she does the enchantress dance and fans spin around her. That has had a significant change where there's only one fan instead of three unless she amplifies it. There's just different kind of changes like that with some of the weirder moves in the game that we've looked at.
Excellent. And across the board, there's other things that will be in the patch notes, which we will get out when they are ready, probably right before we launch on November 17th. So that before, we're gonna say our goodbyes, because at the end of this, we're gonna play a short video from one of our earlier streams about sort of how the upgrades work and that sort of things for those of you who missed that. Am I missing something, DK?
Yeah. Remember the things that we talked about? Okay. Hello.
I forgot about those things. I forgot. That's on me.
It's okay. So, starting on November 24th, there will be a race against time where you can actually earn the ultimate MK3 Mileena skin and mask. So if you guys are wondering how you're going to get that, it's going to start off a race against time. So you can earn it that way for free. Starting the 18th, we're going to have some new Crypt Events coming live that actually have bigger bundles of rewards that I actually are really excited for. And then starting December 29th, we are going to start repeating the Combat League seasons. So if you weren't able to get in for the Season of Blood because it was X months ago, we're going to bring those back and start those again from the beginning. We're reordering the skins, so if you couldn't get to Demigod in the previous season but you really wanted that skin, it'll probably be a lower ranking, so everybody that wasn't able to get them before,
that's cool. I like that.
And also, the repeats of the seasons will also have new gear and brutalities and other items for you to unlock as well.
That's cool.
So,
that's what I like to hear.
People that keep asking, how am I going to get those?
Yes.
There it is.
That's exactly what we need.
It's a good way to do it. Sorry, I almost forgot. That was big info.
Well, that's why I'm here. It's all good.
It's on me. Awesome. So that's really it. We got Mileena, Rambo, Rain, Next Gen coming November 17th for Ultimate Mortal Kombat 11. So Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate. There we go.
Be sure you pre-order it, right? So that you get the Time Warrior skins. And I believe we're just about 11 days away. So get hype.
Very hype. Very excited. I'm personally, I know it's been a weird year for everybody, and we are in our homes right now, and it's really exciting working in a game company to be able to bring you people playing the game something that you can really enjoy during these times. That's exciting to me, and that's something that really brings me a lot of joy, and I'm sure it does for Stephanie and Derek as well. Before we go, any final words?
It's Mileena Day! Yeah.
It is Mileena Day. Stephanie?
I don't know.
She's
good.
It's
Mileena Day!
Keep rolling with Mileena. Rolling, remember that song?
I'm gonna lower the audio here, but ladies and gentlemen, there's so many good things that were announced here. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to edit this, but thank you guys so much for watching. This was a great Combat Cast. We got so much information. We got Combat League custom variations. That's huge. That's really big. In a way, it's good, but in a way, it's bad, but mostly good. And then to top it off, we have repeatable Combat League seasons. I missed that Aaron Black skin. I missed a lot of skins from the past that I regret so much, and Aaron Black's blood skin is one of them. And now I have a chance to get it. Come on. That's awesome. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Take care, y'all.